and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're already part of the Sprinkle Squad. I'm so happy to see you again, and today I am doing another tiny home. Technically, I'm doing a micro home, which means this is only 32 tiles when it comes to the game, so your sim has to do all of their living in this really tiny space, and you also get a lot of perks when you do that, so that's part of the reason people like to play with them. So in case you're wondering, like, why would you want your sim to live in it besides being super cute and tiny, is it's actually super useful for your sims to get a lot of skill gain, which if you have the tiny living pack, then you will get all of that. But I don't think you actually benefit from that tiny home unless you actually have that pack. And I believe that's actually a stuff pack. And I don't know why, like, it has other tiers, like there's tiny, micro, and small, but I just really felt like I wanted to do this really tiny home and I was really excited about it. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fell in love with the front door, which is actually from the Strangerville pack, and I was like, okay, this is the color scheme, this is what we're going with. We're gonna do this really pretty green sagey color with the yellow. And then I found those growing together like stained glass windows that I thought went so incredibly perfect with the front door. So that kind of like sealed it. Like that's what we're going to do for this build. And I actually end up using a horse ranch bed, which I thought was really cute. It was actually the first like default swatch, which honestly, I feel like I don't use default swatches very often. Although like statistically speaking, like there are a lot more other swatches than there are default swatches. So it figures I would use other things other than the default swatch. But anyways, it definitely took me a minute to figure out exactly how I wanted to do this. I was trying to actually figure out a way to make this work where I didn't use like the 3 tile long bathroom, which, in case you're not familiar with tiny homes or doing these really like squished spaces, you can actually just do a 3 tile wide bathroom, kind of like you see like in that the back of the house right now. And you actually put on one end, you put the toilet, on one end you put the sink, and in the middle you use one of the like the showers that don't have like the doors on them. Why can't I, what is the name for something like that? But we have, I think there's 2 in the game, one of them being from the university pack and one of them being from, I think it was Snowy Escape, if I'm not mistaken, which honestly is my favorite. I'm not going to lie. Like that is, you know, something that's like super cute, has like a mirror attached to it and everything. And I ended up leaning a lot into this like yellow kind of warmer wood tone, which I thought was really exciting. And of course I put that like window right in the middle, which doesn't work with that shower, so I kind of end up swapping it out there for that skinnier like one that came with Growing Together that matched some of the other windows that I was using. And but I thought it still looked super cute, and I ended up putting just like a little bit like little plant there on the sink. And I think it's so interesting, that sink, I didn't even realize that. So a while back there was an update, in case you're newer to The Sims. It used to be that the sinks you can place, like the freestanding sinks, didn't have any slots on them, so you couldn't just put items on them. So like I put that little plant on there, we couldn't do that, like, which was so insane to me. And honestly, I was so excited when we got that. I think I actually posted maybe a short of my reaction, or at least I was thinking about it, and it was actually kind of funny. I swear, like I almost cried, I was so excited. But my original point was that that sink actually has the top left corner and then the bottom right. Those are the only 2 slots it has. I don't know why they decided to do that versus doing like the back left and right. I just feel like that makes a whole lot more sense. Or if you're going to do that, do like all 4 of the corners. But anyways, I just thought I'd point that out because I had to like hand place the soap there because it just felt weird to have it in the front of this sink. But I do end up actually using the new Crystals Creations couch here because I just thought that emerald green was really pretty in here. And I honestly haven't really built anything with that pack. I need to go through those items and really study what we got with it and maybe try to do a build with it. Maybe once I'm done with my castle, I'll end up doing that. My goal is to be done with my castle this week, so fingers crossed that's true. And I do want to mention that you can see that I'm using this little red shelf right now. It's basically just the floating red shelf. I don't know what its technical name is, but it is like a mod, like a CC building piece, and what it does is it allows you to place items really exactly where you want to put it. And don't worry though, the build on the gallery, it is like CC free, it's deleted. If it's, so long as it's deleted out before you upload it to the gallery, you don't have any kind of issues. And on that note, this is already on the gallery under my ID, Spice and Sprinkles, all one word, all lowercase, and down in the description if you want to see it written out. And I just want to mention that I know that there are other pieces in the game that you can use for that. I know You can use like the little box that came with, I think it was Dream Home Decorator. Like that's one, this is really useful because you can actually like really place it wherever you want to, clip something to it, and then just like put it over on there. But I don't know, I just decided to use that red shelf today. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually doing this voiceover at midnight. Like, because it has been such a crazy weekend. Like, I think I mentioned in my last video that I had a lot of things going on celebrating my husband's birthday, and we did Mother's Day this weekend instead of last weekend. So I've literally been running around and been so busy. It was really a lovely weekend, but I had so much going on. And I literally, the last one, the beach house I did, I was doing it the day that it like got posted. And then since then, I feel like I've been running around since Thursday. So I'm actually doing this really late on Sunday night, but I really wanted to have something up on Monday like I've usually been doing. I'm trying to stick to my Monday, Thursday schedule and really trying to get stuff up at that 11 a.m. at least Eastern time. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to stay up and I'm going to do this. And I'm not going to lie, I actually started working on another build and I didn't like the way it was going. So I abandoned it and then came and actually did this little tiny home. And of course I was like, I'll do a tiny home. It'll be quick. It'll be, you know, like, so then maybe I won't go to bed super late. And of course I still ended up doing so much on the outside of this build in terms of just like flowers and everything. I just can't help myself. It is just, it's honestly super ridiculous. But I really like doing it. So I do have a lot of vegetation on the outside of this build. And I will say also that the bedroom is really small. This has been play tested, so your Sims should be able to get to both sides of the bed. I didn't have any issues with that. And of course, since it's The Sims, all of our nightstands are like humongous. They're so big. So I had to find something that kind of matched. And what I ended up using with this was this shelf that I believe came with Crystal Creations, and I just thought that'd be really cute. And I guess makes sense in like small spaces just to have like a little shelf, and it was just so tiny and I thought it looked really nice and actually added almost like a little sculpture aspect to it, and then just adding a little bit of clutter. And I do end up actually adding almost like a gallery wall on one of the walls, which I thought was kind of fun. And I started with a growing together collage that we had, and then just like added a few pieces to it along with like a mirror. And I actually thought that turned out really well. I feel like every time I want to do a gallery wall, it either goes really well or really badly. Either the pieces work together well, or the stuff I want to use just doesn't really match nicely on the wall, and then I have to abandon it. But luckily this time I think it worked really well, so I was pretty excited about that. And it actually was that little sunflower picture that made me do it, because I had that on the other wall. I got it out earlier in the build because I was like, oh, that would be really nice and pretty in here. And so then bringing that over there, I was like, ooh, I can add a few more things in here. And of course I couldn't help myself, we have plants all over the place, which I still think is funny because I can't keep a plant alive to save my life. So it's funny that I just put plants everywhere in here. And I feel like even if I'd like built my own dream home in The Sims, I feel like I would include a bunch of plants, which is not true of my real life home. Like I would never be able to take care of them. And honestly, I don't know if I can build my dream home, which sounds really silly, but I don't know what that would be. You know what I mean? Like right now, like I love the house I live in and there's things like I want to change, but like I feel like it's hard to really decide what you want in your dream home. Do you know what I mean? Like down to exactly the decor and everything else. Like there's aspects of a home that I would really like, and I'm really happy that most of the things I got in this house that we just moved to. But I don't know, it's hard for me to think about of all the things I could imagine what I would put in my home. Like honestly, you know, I think it'd be kind of fun to have an elevator. I know that is so ridiculous, but it is like, you know, we have stairs, which affords us to have like, you know, a larger home, because these days it's super expensive just to like buy land. So a lot of houses are 2 stories, but I don't know, I feel like it would be really nice to have an elevator. Like on days when I don't want to go up the stairs or like that kind of thing. Although I think it'd be kind of funny like how to deal with that with my dogs. Like, all right, everybody get on the elevator, let's go upstairs. But honestly, it'd probably help them too, like since they're so tiny. So I have 3 Yorkies in case you didn't know, but like I like that would honestly save them a lot of work, probably just because they're so small at going up and down the stairs. Like one of my dogs actually didn't go down the stairs at my old house. But thankfully, for some reason, when we moved into this house, she was like, oh, okay, like all of a sudden I can go down the stairs, which I am very grateful for, because it was like daunting to think I was always going to have to carry her down the stairs. And I'm not sure why she didn't like to, because she doesn't seem to have like any kind of issue doing it now. But honestly, I also don't blame her, because she's so tiny that like I'm sure like looking down the stairs, like that's a really far like drop. Just trying to go down the stairs. But anyways, I feel like I'm all over the place, and like I said, it could be because I'm recording this at midnight, but I did want to get this done. And I just included this really cute patio area, like with a little umbrella. I just thought the umbrella would be so nice out here. And I did add in a wash bucket and a clothesline, which I was like, oh, I never use those, this would be so cute to have back here. And then it dawned on me after I finished and I was actually like going to take screenshots of this build that I didn't put a hamper. I put in that stuff and forgot that I didn't put a hamper. And of course I just built a tiny home and I had to find like a place to put a hamper. But don't worry, there is a hamper in this home and it's on the gallery, so you shouldn't have any kind of issues. But I thought it was kind of funny. It's not the worst thing I've ever forgotten. I actually did a build one time that I forgot I think it was a fridge, and I didn't know it until I was like actually, I think, play testing it or something. And I was like, why can't my sim cook? What is happening right now? Yeah, because there wasn't a fridge, which I thought was so funny. Like, I couldn't believe I forgot it. But I mean, let me know, like, if you're someone who builds in The Sims, what is like the silliest thing that you forgot to put in your build? Like I said, I think for me it was like actually doing like not doing a fridge. And I wanted to say too, so if you noticed, I put the fence here, and because I connected a fence into another fence and it created an area, the game thought of it as a room, because you can kind of see like the floor popped up there for a second. But a way to fix that, in case you were wondering, is, and you probably saw me do it, is just drawing a tiny segment of fence, picking it up and placing it. So the game thinks it's not a cohesive piece, so it's not actually a room, so you can kind of get around that. So hopefully that made sense. But I like to like mention that in case you didn't know how to do that. And just adding in a lot of lights here. I really like the yard to be well illuminated when it's dark outside. It's just something I enjoy having in my game. And just adding a few rugs out here as well, and just finishing up with a few more like, you know, flowers and stuff, because I honestly just really can't help myself when it comes to building. I just really have to include all of that. But if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.